What's good, family? Welcome to aminorinhoops podcast, a show with the freshest opinions and views on the world's most beautiful game. What you laughing about? I didn't even...
Because Leak said he was done, and then as soon as you started, he picked up the plate and took another bite.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, he's hungry.
I ain't mad at you. It was just, the timing is what just made it funny. It was like, oh, yeah, I'm done, and then as soon as he starts.
Yeah. He was like, I'm done. He was like, but it's here.
I still got more on this plate, so I'm going to eat it, you know. Freshest opinions, views in the world's most beautiful game. I'm your host, Greg. I'm here with the homies, the squad, the best starting five in the podcast league. The boy Brian, TK, Leak, Dunkman, keep holding down the camera and the audio. Boys, how are we feeling?
Feeling good. A little snow on the ground. Not a lot, though. But
Snow tried to get us twice.
it did.
2 weeks straight.
I don't know what they was thinking, though. They knew we was coming back. Knew we was ready.
That's not true, because we were definitely in the group chat. We were definitely in the group chat talking
We
like,
just gonna figure it
if
out.
it sticks, we stay home.
We just gonna figure it out.
Oh, man. But, TK, how we doing, buddy?
Same old, different day.
Update on the recovery?
It's literally the same.
Okay, all right. I try to give you like that Klay Thompson interview.
Ooh, that Klay Thompson interview.
We could talk about that at some point. Rodney McGruder. They didn't do that. They didn't have to do
wild.
that.
Yeah,
They didn't have to do
they
that.
did him.
League, how we doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Oh, snap. Chili sauce or whatever I put in there. But I'm doing good. Another week working from the crib. Excited to watch the Super Bowl later on today.
We're going to get out of here quick. We ain't going to stay here long
For
because
sure.
we all got to go watch that.
Yeah.
Real quick, picks?
I don't care.
I'm personally...
I want the Chiefs to win, but I won't be surprised if Brady wins, so I'm just going to watch it.
Tell the people your theory, Greg.
I don't want to talk about my theory today.
I would love to hear theories. I love theories.
We know.
You know me. So I would love to hear. But I'll personally... I want to go with the Chiefs just because last time I did bet on Brady, he lost to the Eagles. So I want to see greatness one more time. So maybe
Shout out to Nick Foles.
by me going with the Chiefs, I want to see Brady prove me wrong.
Why'd you do that? Why'd you look at me like that?
Because acknowledged himself as a curse.
So he switched.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, man. So glad to have y'all back. Glad to be back. Keith, how we doing, bro?
We good, go Patty.
Okay. I got scared. I thought Andy Reid. Shout out Andy Reid. Shout out Pat Mahomes. Yeah. That's what we're rooting for today. We're rooting for Pat, man. That's where I'm at this point. I'm not talking about my theory today. That's for Patreon.
Wow, you really just did that.
I would love to hear it. I don't know why you can't.
What? I'll tell you off air. Oh, man. Thank you. We hit 200. Thanks to you guys. We appreciate you, man. Y'all have blessed us by allowing this pod to consistently grow. Despite us being missing for 2 weeks, that's love. So we appreciate y'all, man. And like I said always, man, it's easy to be a part of the family. If you are not a part of the family, all you got to do is hit the sub button, hit the like button, and comment below to join the conversation because we love the conversation, and we'll jump in the comments with y'all any chance we can. So we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Let's get this show going, man.
Let's get it.
All right, man. So we've had some requests. I've been listening to the comments. We had some requests. And so this pod is more so answering some questions from our strong viewership.
Ooh.
So
You got them pulled up? You got a question?
I've got all the topics. All the topics are there.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
one of the topics was the MVP race. Someone hit me up and they were talking about the list that we saw, the NBA Central list of the MVP race, and I was like, okay, that was interesting. I think they had Steph at 8.
I'm trying to find
I remember it loosely.
You're talking about the MVPs?
Yeah, the MVP list that they had. And you know how we get with lists because we
Yeah.
never agree with any of them. That's the only thing we normally agree on as a group.
That we yet to
That
not
we don't
agree.
agree on.
Yeah.
Like
we don't like lists.
we don't like lists to begin with. But taking a look at the list, if you get it, but you don't have to. What are y'all top 4 guys right now? MVP race wise, your top 4 looking at it and saying, this is the guy I think gets it right now. These are 3 other guys that could get in that ballpark?
I mean, my 4, I guess, would be Joel Embiid, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Jokic.
In that order?
I think Joel Embiid. I mean, Steph Curry's up there too. I think Joel is my MVP pick as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he ends up winning it, but I feel like that's just my top 4. Maybe Curry slides into that 4 spot over Jokic. Who knows? But that's a solid enough 4. I feel like those are 4 names that should definitely be mentioned.
Okay.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so
I
got
we looking at the list now.
Huh? Yeah. I pulled it up too. So just so we know what NBA.com's NBA MVP ladder was, it's LeBron at 1, Embiid at 2, Jokic at 3, Durant at 4, Kawhi at 5, and then Giannis, Paul George, Doncic. Steph and Dame are tied apparently at 9.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense.
Jason Tatum at 10. Yeah. So that being said, just gonna ignore that list entirely. So I got Embiid number 1 right now, leading the race, followed by Kawhi, then followed by Jokic, then LeBron, and then that 5th spot to me is kind of just whoever you really want to just preference there, whether you want to go Steph, Dame, even Durant, even though his case is going to be a little bit weird just dealing with Kyrie and James Harden. So that's my top 4.
So you said
Embiid 1, Embiid, Kawhi at 2, Jokic at 3, LeBron at 4.
Okay.
That's my 4.
Okay. Lee?
I'm going with the same as far as right now. Like, I'd say Embiid is the guy at the front
runner?
Yeah, for me, as of today, I go Embiid, then I go Jokic. Then I will go with LeBron James because I do see AD definitely taking, like, a chill pill as far as the start of the year of where we are at. And a couple of games that I have watched, like, LeBron is definitely, like, taking them home. And just with how they operate from an entire team standpoint, like, he's placed that culture in there. So I'll go, Embiid, Jokic, Bron. I will put, at that point in time, it really gets pretty up in the air for me. I have, like, KD, Curry. It's hard for me to want to put, like, Kawhi in there because I know, like, him and PG were, like hand in hand with, like, our initial success. So
right.
I kind of don't want to say, like, oh, it was just like Kawhi, because there was definitely some games where, like, PG took us home. There's games where Kawhi took us home. Now, if Kawhi wants to improve his case,
in terms of scoring average, I think they were like maybe a point and a half.
They were
apart.
very similar.
Yeah, right now, Kawhi's at 26, Paul George is at 24.
Yeah.
It was extremely similar. Both of them shooting it very efficiently. So I don't want to say like one was doing more than the other. Now, like over these next couple of games, if Kawhi wants to make a true case, it would be now because we don't know how long PG is going to be out. He didn't play on Friday. He's not playing right now against the Kings, so it's going to be up in the air. But I still think we're just with everything still, dudes can miss games left and right because of contact tracing. Like, I wasn't really going to, like, really make a list until about we're halfway through, which is still, like, another 10 to 15 games for everybody.
Yeah. Looking at the list, though, I guess my 4 would be quite similar. I had Embiid. I had Embiid, KD. I had KD in the mix. Mm-hmm. I had Jokic 3. I think I had... And that 4 spot was dependent upon the Lakers and dependent upon Steph's finish and how high Steph fell for me. Right now, the fact that he's just going crazy. Like last night, he had 57.
Yeah.
And a loss. Like it's hard for me not to throw him in that area, but they're not winning as much as Los Angeles and the Clips, so it makes it difficult for me to put him up there.
Of course.
But that 4 spot is really open for me, where Kawhi, LeBron, Steph kind of reside right now. But looking at this list, one thing that was intriguing to me was the fact that we have 2 big men pretty much headlining it, in Jokic and Embiid. But I think the big man we all assumed was consensus the best big man from last year, Anthony Davis, outside of Giannis, of course, having the regular season he had. It seemed like they took steps back, and Jokic and Embiid kind of propelled themselves a little bit higher. Is this a changing of the guard and big men, or is this just narrative playing a factor?
I mean, AD's like 27. Like, you're talking about changing of the guard as in...
in terms of, like, changing the guard in terms of which big men? Who are the better big men right now? Is AD still the best big man in the league, or is Jokic and Embiid actually running for that spot now?
I'll still take AD until proven otherwise. I like the way they've came out, but I think I have to acknowledge that this just hasn't been the best AD we've seen in the first part of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna let these. How many games are we in? 25.
Yeah, everybody's around 20, somewhere between 20 and 25.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let that necessarily shake me on whether Embiid or Jokic are now better than AD. I think that's taking it a step too far.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, like I'll go with it that people have said it like AD's playing like he's still got champagne like in his eyes, and I personally do think so. But I think with just them having such a quick turnaround, I think that's one reason why he's chilling, because I mean LeBron knows like he doesn't get a ring without that dude. So if anything, I feel like I could see a scenario where like, you know, Bron's like, I'll start off the year, you know, and then you can kind of coast in that at a certain point in time. He's going to take a step back, and then AD will get it rolling and get back to his usual dominant self. But
what I did expect, though, was to be the opposite. I expected LeBron to be the one to kind of be like, all right, I'm a chill to start out. AD, go ahead and handle, like, turn it up. Like, this is your MVP run. Like, go get it. And the fact that it's been the opposite, and yes, he had a few nicks here. I think he missed a few games due to injuries, or more not injury, but rest, just making sure he just maintains health. But I do find it a little interesting that he didn't, you know, come out strong out the gate because he's the younger of the two. That was just my, I guess, prediction for LA at this point. It will be an AD-led regular season, and then LeBron will come in and be playoff Bron.
I definitely think Bron does want one more MVP before he's out, though. So that could potentially
at some
be
point,
wild.
but I don't think this is the. I guess this could be the year, but I mean,
He just got a COVID ring. I don't think he minds a COVID MVP.
I really hope he doesn't win this MVP. That's not me hating. It's just like the fact that he's like so high on the list right now to me is like very weird, because there's no evidence to really back him up being number one right now, other than he's LeBron James.
it's not enough anymore.
Yeah, I will say that I had to even realize that last year. Like, we have definitely got, like, we've gotten tired of him being the guy that he is, and which is technically, if he is being himself, he is an MVP candidate every year. So it's kind of like he is always in that race,
Right.
every single year.
Like, once again, LeBron James being LeBron James, like I said, automatically puts him in the top 5 players in the world, whether he's coasting or not. It's just like this thing of like, well, right now, like Jokic, Embiid, even Kawhi, I say is playing at a higher level than LeBron. Like, there's no statistical evidence to say otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron has, unlike Embiid and Jokic, has a top 5 player on the team. Granted, AD may be coasting, but he's still a top 5 player. We literally, for most people, they literally sat up here and said, well, the Lakers have a better roster than they had last year. So his team got better. He has a top 5 player. He's not even playing better than they did last year. But now he's the MVP? Like, the narrative doesn't add up. It's just the thing like, well, he's 36 now. Maybe we should give him one before he retires. Like, y'all should have gave that to him last year. If that's what we're doing, he should have got the one last year, not this year.
I look at it like, I think the conversation would then become, or what is potentially going to happen when the season kind of wanes down, because he will finish top 3.
Yeah.
Like, whether that's our list or not, he will finish top 3 by the voters. I think they're gonna say, if you take LeBron off this team, what are they? And I think that's annoying, but I think that's what's gonna happen.
And they're the thing is, in previous years, you could say that, like, oh, we're trying if you take them off. But this year, bro, they are still a damn good team,
Like,
even without Bron.
So if that's gonna be the thing, if we're gonna sit here and go, well, if you take LeBron off the Lakers, then that means you don't think AD's that good. Like, you can't say AD's a top 3, top 5 player. You gave him Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell. Granted, I'm not super high on either one of those guys. But those are 2 really good NBA players.
Great reserve pieces.
Like, you can't then give him that and then say, well, and then for a lot of people, still think Kyle Kuzma's a relatively good player and so on and so forth. You can't sit here and say, well, if we just take LeBron off the team, they're not a playoff team anymore. Like, no, this is a solid NBA roster. Like, truth be told, this roster still might technically be better than what the Warriors have right now, if we're going to keep it a stat, without LeBron, if we're going to keep it a stat. Just top to bottom.
Oh, yeah, I think, you take LeBron off, they are better than the Warriors still.
Like, so you can't sit here and tell me, well, we take LeBron off the team. Like, I'm not buying that argument this year, like Lee said. Not this year. Some other years, especially in them Cleveland years, yeah, absolutely. That's a very valid argument to make. Not this year.
Okay. So, Embiid sitting at the top of everybody's list. The biggest change is Doc?
They gave him shooters.
I think, that more than anything.
That's it?
It's just more shooting. More shooting than, like, what they had last year. And I think the Jimmy Butler year, like, they had shooting with that. What I feel like the big issue was, like, they brought in such a dude that with Jimmy, he needs to rock. So I feel like it was a very, like, a conflict of interest where there'd be times where Ben didn't know what he was going to be doing on the floor. But nobody had told Ben, like, yo, get this whole point guard thing, like, out of your head. So I feel like that's where it was messed up at. Mind you, that was still their best team. Like, they lost in the second round, but they are a miraculous bounce from potentially, being in the conference final. So, like, that was their best bet. I really like the first 2018 year they had where they were first in the playoffs. They played, like, young Tatum and them.
Yeah.
They lost in, I think, like, the second round. But, like, that team had, like, Dario. They had JJ. Like, they had Cove. Like, they had shooting, and it looked like, okay, like, these are the two guys that we can go forward with. So you're just getting back to that. And at that point in time, we thought Embiid was going to be one of these, like, top, like, bigs in the league. So I think it's just more so the roster is now built around what it is he needs to do.
Okay. So less about Doc, more about the pieces.
That's what I'd say, yeah.
I mean, Doc definitely, like, Doc is going to be Doc. He's going to bring stability. He's going to come in, be Doc Rivers. But like I said, as far as, like, his game plan, it's nothing revolutionary. It's been pretty straightforward, simple. Spread the court, let Ben Simmons get downhill when he wants to, and post up Embiid. Embiid is thriving in the post. He's not settling for threes. He's not settling for jumpers. He is dominating on the block. And it's actually quite scary. Because this year he's actually shooting 39% from three. He's just not taking as many.
Right.
So Embiid has been downright scary to start this season. Like, I don't think there's any team in the Eastern Conference that has an answer for him right now.
No.
And, hey, it is what it is.
Okay. All right. Well, guess looking at the other side, Jokic. I will go ahead and say Jamal Murray has taken a step backwards from the playoffs. I'll say that.
From the bubble, yeah.
Yeah, it's fair to say that.
He's taken a step backwards, and
Jokic is almost taking a half step forward. Almost, I feel like
maybe 2 steps.
I feel like he's
He was dominant in the playoffs.
He was.
This might be
Like-
2 steps,
But
like,
he just had a
this
50
look-
ball.
he was dominant, no doubt. This guy, like you said, I think it was 2 weeks ago. We potted. It was you said he did a move.
Yeah, he did the spin move
He did the spin
on Wiseman and dunked it. It was crazy.
Last year when he was doing that, it looked like, oh wow, he just lost weight. This now it looks fluid. He looks smooth in these spots now.
Yeah.
He looks like he's comfortable making those moves now. So I think that's where I'm saying where maybe it's 2 steps ahead.
I feel you.
Because his comfortability level to do these new things or to open up his bag, we're watching it. It's like, oh man, he's getting creative down there now. So that's scary in itself. How do we go about saying, is Jokic taking a step forward because Murray's taking a step back, or is this just a situation of Jokic is really the number one and we got to live with that?
Jokic was always the number one.
Yeah.
I mean, scoring option, all that in the
I think he always was. I think it was always a thing of like Jokic is
that was not what we were talking about.
No,
when we first had the conversation,
I've always said
we could
Jokic.
check the videos. B when we had the conversation,
we
you
gave
said
Murray
he's the-
his props for going off. Like he was
No.
going berserk.
You definitely said he was the play initiator. That's what made Jokic special. He was the play initiator.
Okay.
But we never said he was the number one scoring option. That was never like
Fair.
I get what you're
we
saying.
never
I get what
said
you're
that.
saying.
Okay.
Like he's putting himself in a space where the ball goes through me. If I'm shooting it, passing, or whatever, like this is me. I think that's where I think it's different now.
And I think, and I've been waiting for a big to be able to show that. 'Cause, I mean, it was at one point in time, but I remember, I don't know if it was that convo, but at one point in time, I was talking about like, yo, like, there's still like scenarios where if you have a player dominant enough, your dude taking your last shot, it could be a guy posting up. But
Yeah.
I feel like because of the league that we're in and it's so 3-centric, people really thought like, your last shot can be a dude like on the block. Like
Yeah, that's when you was talking about Zion.
we're just gonna double it and da-da-da. And it's like, yo, okay, but if you have a dude like Jokic, he prefers you to double in the post because now he gets to play quarterback.
Right.
Denver has the shooting around him. They're great with off-ball movement. That's how they dissected us. So it's like, I'm loving everything that I'm seeing out of him. Jamal definitely does need to pick it up, but I definitely think Jokic is taking his game to another level. And I think he got a chance. He took some blood playing against AD in the conference finals. He realized okay, there's still like things that I have not seen that I need to prepare myself for if I'm ever going to take Denver to that next level.
Right.
But I love everything that he's been doing, man. Like I said, like you said, I'm going to get dudes involved. I'm going to be the screener. Guys need to get me the rock. I'm going to score. He's had several games where he's taking these late shots. He's hitting daggers just from bump, bump, jump hook.
Right.
Bump, bump, spin off you. Shot fake, pivots.
And the thing about Philly and Denver in this point, you kind of hit it on too. Everybody's so three-centric. I'll take it a step further. Everybody's so small ball oriented. And so now we're looking at all these teams where they only really got one big on the team. You get them in foul trouble, and now you rocking a small ball 4 out there. That's your 5. And so barbecue chicken for Embiid, barbecue chicken for Jokic, AD the same. And so you're looking at a situation where you're dealing with a scarcity of bigs, but these upper echelon bigs are so good that they could tip the scales of any playoff game when it comes down to it. So I think the best teams, like we mentioned about Brooklyn, we'll talk a little bit about them because they're trying to get Drummond, they're trying to get JaVale, they're trying to get Kevin Love. You name it, they're trying to get a big in there. They're trying to get somebody of size in there.
I'm going to be upset if Andre Drummond goes for a second-round pick. If he just goes for a second-round pick,
it won't be. It'll be a buyout.
Yeah, Drummond's a buyout. I think JaVale's...
They can't fit his contract.
JaVale's
going to be a buyout. Either way, I'm just going to be like...
And I was telling T, I was like, I think if they don't want to have that typical, because every time somebody gets traded, there's always got to be that that time where they're building, to get to know each other, and that can lead to a couple of L's. I think if you put JaVale in there, there's none of that time needed. I think they're just going to take off and keep it moving. Yeah. I think Andre Drummond, because he does have a little bit of an ability to pass and somewhat, I think in his head, he's gonna have the rock sometimes, and he's gonna be thinking telling dudes, cut, do this, do that. It's like, dude, just go swing it to one of the 3 elite ball handlers you got and go screen for them.
Right.
We don't need you trying to be Jokic out here.
And just getting the ball out the way.
Yeah, and JaVale's not gonna do none of that. So yeah.
JaVale would shoot a 3. Look,
he's actually been hitting from 3 this year though.
He would definitely.
He's been hitting from 3 this year though.
I'm open.
He's hitting though.
Let that joint fly.
But what I love where the bigs have went to. I mean, if you look at from this entire century, from early 2000s, where you had your Shaqs, your Duncans, your Dirks. So at one point in time, it was still kind of that era of KG. You had your guys were your 5, your 4. That was your guy. That was your best player. Then it got to a point towards the end of that first decade. Then you had around Lob City time, Miami Heat, Big 3. Your 5s were DeAndre Jordan, Joel Anthony, Tyson Chandler. They were dudes who were just he's just gonna catch a lob and he gonna block shots. But then it got to a point where they were so non-skilled that now when Golden State comes about and it's our 5s are gonna either be Draymond or Bogut, but we can battle that because where your guys are so non-skilled, we have high IQ dudes.
Right. We've pretty much made this a 4-on-4 game at this point.
If your big's not gonna be able to do a thing aside from set a pick and roll and catch a lob, we'll have somebody that can bump him off his path.
Right.
And then now, like I said, now it's to the point where it's you can't just be a big, and just only do that. Because sometimes they get in trouble with DeAndre Jordan out there on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love where it's went. And I think we're going to get to a point where everybody on the court, it doesn't matter what your size is or what your...
Pass, dribble, shoot.
Can you do that?
Everybody in your mom going to be able to pass, dribble, and shoot out there.
And that's when we're going to get the best game.
Yeah, I agree. I was looking at the same thing. I was looking at how we saw that dip in skill in terms of the big man, and then we're watching this resurgence come up. James Wiseman coming up, Karl Anthony Towns coming up. These guys are gonna be great for a long time. And then you still Jokic, AD. He's 27. Jokic is what, 25? Yeah. Embiid's
KP.
20. KP. If he stays healthy, that's the biggest question on him. But you got all these guys coming in, where it's you can actually build a team through the big again. That's real. Yeah. You can do that. You don't need a 6'6" guard that runs your offense. You can do it with a big. So I think it's interesting. I think it's cool to see that again. I like the fact that these guys are leading the way in the race. What do y'all make of Shaq's comments towards some of these guys, though? It's kind of random, I know, but I've thought about Shaq because Shaq's been saying a lot of stuff towards
Shaq and Barkley getting on my nerve.
Really?
They both getting on my nerve.
I think it's.
I think Shaq said something to Joel. I saw the clip about him saying something to Donovan Mitchell.
That was stupid.
He said something about pretty much all these young dudes, and I'll say this: like, I get wanting to challenge dudes. Because I will say this: like, for as wild as stuff as they say, like NBA TNT, like they actually have good basketball conversation. Because
sometimes.
But I think more times than not, they are holding dudes accountable, but it's just in the manner that you go about it with. Saying a dude like Donovan, like, I don't think he has it at all. Like, when he's never really shrunk in a moment. I could see if he had a moment where it was just like, yeah, I could see if he's had one of those DeMar DeRozan type of moments, and I hate to like talk bad about DeMar because he's a multi-all-star, but he's had moments where it's like, okay, you might not want the pressure of being like that elite dude, but like Donovan has it. So I'm just not sure as to why he is. I think it's just they're not ready to see like a whole nother generation come in that's gonna make them more forgettable. I feel like another decade from now.
That's the thing. Like Shaq is never gonna be forgettable. Like Shaq's gonna always go down as one of the most dominant players to ever play the game. So his legacy is secure. Charles, on the other hand, as great as he was, because he was phenomenal.
This is about to be wild.
No, like Charles Barkley is phenomenal. Like, please don't get me wrong, but like what I'm saying is his legacy isn't as secure as Shaq's because he doesn't have the MVPs. He has one MVP. He doesn't have multiple like Shaq.
Right.
He doesn't have multiple championships. Like Charles, like people remember Charles most for losing to Jordan. Like that's who you remember Charles for the most. Mm-hmm. And that's unfortunate because Charles was an amazing player. Absolutely amazing. Should never be forgotten that he was phenomenal at the game.
You say Charles will be forgotten?
I don't know if he'll be forgotten, but he'll definitely, as players start to rise, you'll see him go down, is what I'm saying. Like, the way people think of him will go down. Like, nobody talks bad about Shaq. Like, it doesn't matter how good Nikola Jokic is. Nobody's ever going to be like, well, Shaq couldn't. Like, no. Nobody's ever going to say that about Shaq.
Right.
People will say that about Charles Barkley. Like, we're already seeing it. Like, we did it with Tim Duncan. Like, as soon as Tim Duncan showed up, it was like, Charles Barkley, you ain't the best power forward, maybe. Like, it didn't take long for that conversation to happen. It took one chip, and it was over. Like, that's where Charles Barkley is right now. And then, like I said, you start adding on these guys who have literally changed the game. Steph, LeBron, KD. Like, you just start seeing Charles Barkley go further and further down. It's like, man, like.
Yeah.
So I understand why Charles is more threatened than Shaq. I still don't, like, both of them get on my nerves.
I don't know. Like, That's tough. Because, I'm looking at it like Charles. I'm not going to say Charles is forgettable. But him falling down the total. So you're saying, let me slow down. You're saying that he should know his place.
No, I'm not saying.
Yeah, well, that's wild.
That was wild. That's not what I'm saying.
I don't know.
I didn't get that.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying
that's what how ESPN media be.
No, I'm really trying to understand.
I'm trying to get the viral clip.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand.
Quick soundbite.
I'm trying to understand because you said like he's gonna fall down, or he's not recognizing that his place in, I guess, the totem pole of greats is dropping because these guys are rising
or ascending. So he should know where he stands. It's not so much he should know where he stands. Like, so I have no problem with.
I'm not trying to be clickbaity. I'm really not.
No, please understand. I'm not trying to say like he should know his place or he should not say anything. Like, he's an analyst. He gets paid to talk. I get it. Like, I'm saying I just understand where more of his insecurities come from than Shaq. Truth be told, Shaq kind of makes me more upset than Charles. Because Shaq, like I said, your place is secure. Why do you act like these guys are really coming for you? Like, dude, you are in the upper room. You're in the pantheon. So, like, what are you threatened by? Like, I don't care.
Do you think it's him being threatened, or you think it's just him trying to hold guys accountable?
You can sit here and say it's trying to hold guys accountable. Like, to me, I don't buy that because, once again, kind of going back to the league said, like, with Donovan Mitchell and DeMar DeRozan, like, those are two guys I don't expect to be superstars like that. Why do you try to play? There's 5 guys like that in the league per time. Maybe.
Right. So
why do you, like, I never expected DeMar DeRozan to beat LeBron James head up. It's not going to happen. It's not supposed to. If it does, LeBron choked. Let's keep it a stack. It's just like when Jason Terry and JJ Barea beat LeBron. It wasn't supposed to happen. It didn't make sense.
Oh, I had a conversation with a dude. Shout out to Rob, man. I had a conversation with a guy, and he tried to tell me that Jason Terry, he tried to tell me that series, people keep talking about this series, that this series was an inside job.
Which one?
These series,
the LeBron
bro.
James choke.
These series.
It was an inside
It was
job.
an inside job. He said,
by who?
I'm convinced the bubble.
He said the refs were in on it. He said Spoelstra was in on it.
All right. We need to run the conspiracy.
If conspiracy theory leak can't go with you on it, it ain't real.
he said to me, he said it was the money thing. He said because of the decision, the league got mad, and so they had it out for him. So they made sure he got to the finals, but he lost to, I guess, take a jab at him.
But I don't know.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever
Yeah.
When people start saying stuff like that, you kind of just go,
Yeah, I'm
sure.
just like, yeah,
okay.
all right.
If you say so, man. Like, you got it.
That sounds like a lot of effort.
Like,
I told him, I said,
you stretch that one.
how can you explain Jason Terry guarding LeBron? He says, you can you? And I said, you can't say that. That's not fair.
He's like,
that's not how it works.
Exactly.
I said, how can you explain Jason Terry guarding LeBron? He said, exactly. I was like, no, that's not.
Everybody else in Miami Heat performed except LeBron.
I would say LeBron would have to be in on it too. Then.
Exactly.
LeBron was in on his own conspiracy.
LeBron destroyed his own legacy.
That doesn't make sense. But I understand where you're coming from. I understand, like, I don't know. I think it's weird. I brought Shaq up because of the whole big man conversation. Him trying to be, I guess, the gatekeeper of, I guess, the new school of bigs in a sense. And I don't know if it's necessary. I think these kids or these men are gonna do what they do, and they're gonna be themselves. And he's giving out these stat lines like you got to give 30 and 16 and all that in the third. If they winning games,
there's a reason most of these top guys. When I say top, I'm talking about the upper echelon of players in NBA history: MJ, Magic, Bird, whoever you want to name. That top 20. There's a reason most of them weren't that good as GM or coaches. Like, there's a reason. Because as talented as you were, it is very hard to just tell somebody, do what I did. Yeah, go out there and get 30, 15. Well, Shaq, I'm not 7'1", 300 pounds and jump 36 inches off the ground. I'm sorry. Right. Like, Kristaps can't take the banging in the post like you did. He should get down there more. I'm not going to argue that point.
Right.
But he can't do what you did.
Right.
Shaq, you were a freak of nature. We still haven't seen anything like you.
It never will.
It probably never will. So why do you expect somebody to be you? Jordan, you can't expect every 6'6" guard to come in and be you.
Why don't you have a 48?
Like, why don't you run a 4.3 with a 45-inch vertical? With the quickest first step the league's ever seen.
Every time Jordan sees somebody miss a two-guard miss, he's like, no, show it with one hand, switch it, and then go to the other hand.
Like,
come on.
Really, though? Like, that's a thing. So stop expecting these guys to just do what you did. You were the best of the best of the best, sir. With honors. Like, what else do you want? Let these guys be themselves. They're going to make their own place in history. Let them be them. Shut up.
You drop a pass, you run a mile. Oh, man. I don't know. I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy, but, I mean, I understand his intentions. I think he's just going about it the wrong way. I understand, like, he wants to be seen as someone who's invested in them. I think he's just going about it the wrong way, in my opinion.
Yeah, he is.
What you think? You good? I'm checking on you, man. I'm just checking on you. Just mid-check.
You sure? You look out of it over there.
Nah, just tired, yo. This thing has just been draining me.
I feel you.
I'm proud of you, man.
Hey,
I can't wait to see you back on the court.
I never.
Never?
Yeah, I was about to say, you're going to be waiting.
Never?
Can't wait to see you back.
Ever?
You got to come back.
We got one season left, man.
We get one.
Get a chip. Let's go get a chip.
I'm not.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
No. It sounds like I'm going to bust my knee in the championship
6 minutes a game. That's all I'm asking for.
Nah,
That's all we
6 minutes,
need.
2 minutes. I'll be the manager or something.
Come on, be Vinny Johnson.
All right, man. Moving on to the rookies. So, shout out to our people watching the pod. They wanted us to do a rookie breakdown. See where some of these guys fall, who's been impressive, who's been underachieving of some sorts, questions that in third.
I mean, I think it's been the same rookies all year that people have really been giving the nod to. I didn't think Tyrese was going to be this good. He looks really nice. Melo is playing really well with starter minutes.
Tyrese Halliburton is none but Kevin. What's my dude name?
Ooh.
He just went out the league. Had a janky jump shot.
Kevin Martin?
Kevin Martin.
Oh, you said he's
You
not-
remind me a
He's
lot
better-
of
he's
Kevin
better than
Martin,
Kevin
man.
Martin.
You
He's
remind me
better
a
than
lot of
Kevin
Kevin
Martin.
Martin.
He's gonna be better than Kevin.
And mind you, Kevin did fill it up though.
He was going.
Yeah.
So Kevin might end up being the better scorer of the two, but I think as an overall
I give-
player,
yeah, overall.
Tyrese is
Tyrese
gonna be
definitely a better playmaker.
like defender. Like he beats Kevin in virtually everything else but shooting the ball,
Yeah.
which Kevin was elite at for a period of time.
Yeah, he definitely, because shout out Kevin. At one point in time, his top years,
Like we
20,
thought,
23, 24. Like,
Yeah.
we thought that James Harden trade was halfway decent because of Kevin Martin at the
Yeah.
time.
For a short stint.
For like 1 year, it looked decent.
Oh, because wait, he did go to OKC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got
Yeah,
OKC
yeah,
got Martin
yeah.
in that deal.
I was like, oh, we might be all right.
But I mean, shout
No,
out.
stop
MVP.
lying. You cried. You was so upset that day. But yeah, LaMelo's being LaMelo. Like I said, he's not doing anything I didn't expect.
Should he start?
Yeah.
Why not?
Let's just
Yeah.
get down to the name.
All
Why
these-
not?
Do we care about all the rookies?
Anthony Edwards, like, yes, elite rookie should start.
All right, are we putting Anthony Edwards in the elite category?
He was the number one overall pick.
Yes.
He should start.
Yes.
Just
And
because
he-
you know overall pick,
that
means
doesn't
you
mean
should start.
you should start.
If I can't start my number one overall pick and I'm the Minnesota Timberwolves,
we're
I
gonna
should draft him.
we're gonna start Malik Beasley and Josh Okogie. Just because they're that much ready right now, right? Because when
kinda
Kobe, at
are.
least when Kobe was coming
Okay,
off the
I got a
bench,
question.
Like,
what are they doing so much better?
Well, Malik's easily the better scorer.
No. I'm talking about right now. The Timberwolves are how much further to a chip?
with them two starting.
So you're just going for the number one pick then. You're tanking at that one. If
I
you're putting
know,
Anthony in, you're
I'm
just going for the
playing
tank.
him because I want to develop my number one pick on court instead of
And
bench him.
He's still, you act like he's not playing golf. He's still getting 30 minutes.
Start him.
What's the difference between, like, I'm maybe it's just the coach in me. Like, I don't understand the difference between starting and just playing.
Then why
be
can't he
starting.
start
Yeah.
then?
Huh? Why can't he just play?
But
What's the difference?
why can't he
All right,
start?
all right,
If
all
there's
right,
no
all right.
difference, then there should be no argument. It's like, oh, start him, okay. Not start him, okay.
The
But it's not.
same reason the Warriors took James Wiseman out of the lineup. Because sometimes it's better when you're just not out there to start
And
the
that's what I'm
game.
saying. You're the Timberwolves. You're not playing for much. You're the Warriors. You're
feel
playing
you.
for more.
Yeah, I can understand it. There's moments where, yes, with a team like the Warriors trying to make the playoffs, there might be stretches in the game where, yes, maybe it would be okay for him to sit, watch, and then you can plug him in. But like I said, the Wolves, they are not going to the playoffs this year.
Okay.
There are times, even at the high school level, where you and I have talked about it, you just got to go young. If all your seniors are not it, if your juniors and seniors are not it, all right, let's at least plan for the future. The guys that could potentially change this program, let's get them reps, let's get them minutes right now. I'm just saying, Okogie does not need to be playing over Anthony Edwards, because we know whose ceiling is higher.
I look at it as I could sit with Anthony Edwards a little bit better in terms of him starting. That's not an issue to me. Looking at LaMelo though, you got one guy you just paid a big contract to in Terry Rozier.
That's not a really big contract. That's an
But they
appeasable one.
did pay him.
They
though.
paid
They
him.
paid him.
They paid him.
But it wasn't a big joint. What, 2 years, $40 million?
He got a lot of money.
I think it was
to
like
go over
3.
there.
I think it was 60 for 3.
Yeah, he got a lot of money going. I mean, it's not big to like. It's not Steph big,
That's
but
what I'm saying. It's a
that's-
decent little check.
that's good money, man.
It's good. I'm not.
I'm
gonna
taking
argue.
it.
I'm not either. I mean, I am too. I'm not arguing, is what I'm saying.
All I'm saying is they got him, and then they had Graham, who came off last season playing really, really well. Both those guys are young too. So, how do you go about putting LaMelo in the starting lineup when you're coming off two guys who, one you paid, one just had a breakout season, who you maybe think could start, and then you have LaMelo Ball as well.
I think personally they just look at it and say, realistically, what direction is our franchise gonna go? And they drafted LaMelo for a reason. Like, I get it. Devontae Graham looked nice. Let's develop him more. I get it. We just kind of gave some money to Terry Rozier. Let's play him so he can earn his contract. Reality is, like, Melo's kind of our future, and it's tied up in him now. So if people are going to keep hollering about him starting, he's going to start.
Yeah, as of right now, yeah, LaMelo and Anthony Edwards are 1 and 2 in rookie scoring. followed by Emmanuel quickly.
Who's balling?
Who's
I'm highly impressed with
shout out to him.
Highly impressed with him.
Yeah, mind you, like, which is crazy is like this is the quickly. I was telling Taman, like, I remember seeing Emmanuel quickly. So he played with an Adidas team out of Baltimore, and they came down the U-turn. This is 2017. They came down the U-turn, and this is when they played Loaded. When Loaded had like Mac McClung, who's at Texas Tech,
Yep.
Jalen Llewellyn, he's sitting out, but he's at Princeton. Roger Bolton at Iowa State just scored 1,000 points. Mondo Baco was on that team. Dave McCormick at Kansas. Oscar Deshibwe, who just went from West Virginia to Kansas. So, like, this team had some dudes. And Emmanuel quickly went out there. I want to say, I know for sure he had, like, 7 threes, had somewhere between mid-20s to high 30s. But, like, when I say, like, I've never seen, like, a point guard take over a game in the manner that he did. Like, he was doing, like, what LeBron did those 2 games he got against Golden State in 15. Like, he did that from, like, a point guard standpoint. And I was so shocked. And the way he handled the game, it gave me John Wall vibes, but in a different way. Because he was applying pressure on the defensive end. And then offensively, no. His buckets weren't athletic takes, punching with the left hand on bigs. But, like, it was, I'm going to have the ball in my hand for majority of the possession, and I'm going to create whatever it is happens. And it's going to be good more times than not.
Right.
So I was shocked seeing how, like, yes, at Kentucky, he had to split time with, like, other guards while he was there. But, like, it's looked like everything what I thought he was going to be back at the high school level. And I think this is definitely going to be somebody that they pick and that they ride with, like, for years to come.
That's good. I like Quick. I thought he's going to come in. When Quick started hooping, I said it's over for Dennis Smith.
Mm-hmm. And they're training him now for
Yeah, he
D-Rose.
got traded.
Traded for Derrick Rose today.
Yeah.
I said that was the moment I was like, it's over.
Dennis has been hanging on by a thread.
And I've been holding out for him in a lot of ways just because one, I was a fan. But then maybe you just got to get to a point where you realize maybe things don't click with everybody right away or maybe never. And I don't want to be that guy. I'm not saying it'll never click, but I think before the trade happened, he had asked
let's go down to the G League.
to the G League so he can get some run. And I'm like, man, Quick really got that locked in. Like,
I mean, he basically asked to go audition for other teams. That's what he basically did.
Yeah.
So
and we're going to send you to Detroit.
Like, so it's really locked in. They were locked in on Emmanuel quickly. And that just, the more that keeps happening, the more he keeps going into new places. And it's almost like the Emmanuel Mudiay thing at one point. Like we looked at him, we was like, he's good. He could make something. He's promising. But then go somewhere and then it doesn't really fit. And then another guy beats him out of a job and his minutes start to decrease. And next thing you know, he's just like, oh, where is he?
It's tough, man.
So,
and I mean, it all starts with, for one, I mean, just the league is about it's a premium shooting right now.
right.
Like, if you cannot shoot the basketball, you automatically make it that much harder for your team to do anything offensively.
Yeah.
And especially if you're the guy initiating the offense in the point guard. Because as much pick and roll that's ran today in the league, you cut off I feel like 40 to 50% of your options already in terms of what can you get out of a ball screen if you can't shoot.
Yeah.
You're not a threat.
Right. And we're seeing the same thing happen with Zoe because he's out here. He's being shopped around God's green earth. And teams are popping up. Pistons.
Clippers Twitter, chill out. I don't know if Lonzo's what we need. Yeah. I keep scrolling up by my timeline and people in Clippers Twitter's like, yeah, Lonzo's the way we need to go. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I mean, Zoe or Lou.
Lou has to go. I don't know if it's for Zoe, though, is what I'm saying. I don't know if it's for that.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I thought long and hard about Kelly Oubre for Lonzo. I was like, man.
I saw Warriors was thinking that, and I was like, yo, y'all ready to get off Kelly like that?
I didn't think Kelly was down bad like that.
That's
Man,
what I was
the more
I
I,
didn't think he was down
the
bad
more I
like
watch
that.
Kelly, the more I'm like, Lonzo might fit in his offense a little bit better.
Did you see the cycle they made?
Bro, that joke was funny.
What was it?
It's like go ahead.
It's basically, like I said, just in the circle chart.
Yeah.
It's like Kelly Oubre plays horribly. Fans want to trade him. Then he plays amazing. Fans want to keep him. Then he plays horribly. It's just circle chart.
No,
Just same thing.
It was he plays horribly versus a good team, and then he plays great versus a bad team, so we keep him. So it was that joint had me weak. I was like, I guess it has been like that, huh?
He gave
So every time I
Pretty much.
like I saw like he had like which was 7 threes. Who was that?
He had 40 the other
Against
night.
Mavericks,
40.
I think.
40 against Dallas the other
I
night.
said, oh, they don't play defense. So I was like, I don't care. So I want him to work out there, man. I want him to work out there, but
Real quick,
it's not
what,
looking too good.
What do y'all want to say about? I know it's slightly going off topic, but like, what do y'all have to say about Dallas' struggles? I think that's a bigger story than like.
Seth Curry matters more than what people make.
But
him
to that extent,
Not to that extent,
So-
but to a
so
lot.
it's a
big
rotational
one.
thing.
we
So
dropped down to
it's-
14th in the conference.
So
without Seth,
it's a multitude of
It's-
things.
it's a-
It's Seth. I think Dallas did a thing up, and it was something we all kind of praised them for, but now looking back on it, maybe we shouldn't have. They tried to overcorrect. They went from being the best offense in statistical history last year.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we got Luka Doncic, so we don't really need to worry about the offense. We'll just surround them with defenders and figure it out. And then they went and got all these defenders who are nowhere near the shooters that they had.
yeah,
Right.
I will say that.
And then to top it all off, you come to the season. We already knew KP was going to miss the first 10 games.
Yep.
Josh Richardson, Dorian Finney, like all their defenders had to go out for COVID for like 7-8 games. So now it's like they're like spinning their wheels. Doncic came in out of shape. Like they're spinning
Yeah.
their wheels, and now they're trying to get traction back. But the Western Conference is so tough,
Right.
you can't get traction back now.
Right.
Like they're a team that might after the All-Star break. Like
I
break.
think they will be in there because I just trust Rick Carlisle.
But the question is, will it be too late? Like that's the question.
they just got to be 7. They got to get. They just
I mean, you gotta get to 10.
They
You gotta
gotta
get to 10.
And they could get to 10. I don't think that's a problem. It goes back to the conversation we had before we left. It was, God forbid anybody goes down again. If anybody goes, if you missing 2-3 guys again coming up late, you out. You done.
Yeah.
You screwed at this point. So now you looking at a situation where you gonna try and go out there on the 10-7 game?
Yeah.
The 10-7 game missing 3 guys?
But what I will say with how crazy that this year is, like with people, you can have somebody miss a 1, 2, 3, however many games just for contact tracing, and they be negative. But mind you, there's a precaution that you need to take. But this will be the year more of anything where it's just like, yo, we just need to get to X spot.
Yeah.
We just need to get to X spot healthy, because it doesn't even matter if you get there and then somebody got it, if somebody has COVID or somebody's hurt. Like when you're there.
Yeah.
You just
I
got to
feel
make
you.
sure we're at our best health-wise when we get there. Because I trust Dallas, depending on who it may be. Like, if it's a Phoenix, if it's a Portland, I trust them, at least going toe-to-toe with a team like that.
I don't know about Portland. I don't my bad. I don't know about Phoenix. If Portland is healthy, all bets are off for that too. But I think, how long is Nurkic out again?
Still not like a month.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that
Like, him
either.
and CJ are both out for another month. Like
So-
they're gonna be holding on for dear life.
Yeah. And the reason why I say a team like Portland is because it's just like, yo, do we expect Dame to do what he did last year again? And is he going to have enough gas again? Like, dudes, like, when we usually idolize these crazy runs, we usually are talking about playoff runs to go deep into the conference finals.
Against all odds.
Dame is doing this just to get to the 8th seed. You feel me?
Just to stay there. Just to stay there.
Like, yeah, we talk about Bron. Like, Bron's run, finals. Kawhi's run, finals. Like, Dirk's run, finals. D-Wade in 06, finals. These are all to get chips. He's not killing himself to get...
Dame's just killing himself for a first round exit.
Blow it up.
I said this last
Please.
year.
No, we were on the same page. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was my prediction last year that Portland was just going to fall off the map. And they would have if it had not been for the bubble.
But see, what Portland always does, they do this every... Well, at first, like, their teams were just bad. Like, when Dame's wings was, like, Al-Farouq Aminu and those, like, Ed Davis and those dudes, like, they were bad. But then, like, these past 2 to 3 years, it's been like, if we're just healthy, we could have, like... And they've been hanging on that. But it's like, yo, y'all are never healthy.
This is y'all.
I mean, here's the thing that does make it really bad. If they are perfectly healthy, are you picking them over the Clippers or Lakers?
Nah.
Exactly. So even if everything went perfectly right, CJ this year was playing like a superstar before he went out.
Yeah.
He was shooting 50, 47, 90.
Yeah.
Averaging 28 a game. And even watching that, you were like, they're not beating the Lakers. We know what the ceiling is. Blow it up.
They show you who you. What? It show you who they are.
If someone shows you who you are or shows you who they are, believe them.
So, yeah, right now, if Dallas were to try to get to 10, they are, I mean, mind you, it's not crazy. They're only 2 games behind.
Yeah, the bottom of the West
Houston,
is so
They're only 2 games behind Houston, who currently has the 10, which I don't see them like keeping that. I really truly don't.
I think they will.
You think they'll stay in that?
I think Houston. I've said from jump.
How
Houston
long
has
is
a good
Christian Wood
roster.
out?
Huh?
How long is Christian
That
out?
is a good question.
How long is who out?
Christian Wood.
Christian
He
Wood.
messed up his ankle the other night.
Yeah.
So that is a good question. But if Wood's fine, I think they have a. Like,
I think
to
they're
me,
fine to be within that 7 to 10 at least.
They're the Indiana Pacers of the West now.
Who?
Houston. If Christian Wood's
No.
healthy. Yes, they are.
Oh, if he's out?
If he's
If
healthy. If Christian Wood's healthy, they're the Indiana Pacers of the West.
No, because
They're that much of a
they're
that
not
much of a threat
like
to you.
I feel like
They're that scared of you.
But the Pacers aren't a threat to me. They're just a decent
But
playoff
right
team.
now,
That's
but
all
we
I know they
haven't seen
are.
them with
See,
a healthy
I don't-
Paris in that yet.
but I
I
don't
think
remember
they're
that's
gonna
how the
mess up
conversation
some.
was.
They're gonna catch somebody lacking, bro.
I think Houston could catch somebody
No.
lacking.
No.
If they
No.
get a
No.
good match,
No.
like if they matched
No.
up right now, San Antonio's a 5 seed. If they matched up with San Antonio, you can't tell me it's like not a toss up.
Shout out to Keldon Johnson.
Facts.
But
Keldon
I
Johnson,
digress.
Shout out, yeah.
DeJounte
He's been one of the
Murray,
best.
they've
He's
all
been
been
one of the best
Yeah, yeah.
sophomores.
DeMar
in the
DeRozan's
league.
been hooping as well. Like San Antonio's put together, quiet as kept a very decent season.
Yeah.
Because I think they all looked at each other in the mirror last year and was like, "Yo,
we're not trash. Like we not trash.
I
We don't
literally
gotta
told
be
the team,
trash.
I was like, yo, if they go a year and don't make the playoffs, like all y'all gotta look at yourselves in the mirror and reevaluate like what you are. Like LaMarcus, you was like one of the most
He's
talented.
37. I don't think he's just at that point.
Even
He's
still,
like,
it's just
whatever.
like, yo, dude, like look at the cheese that you're still getting. Like, be something. Be something. Like DeMar, like you're not about to retire. Like this is not your farewell tour.
yeah.
We need, you know what I'm saying? We need a little bit more out of you.
DeMar gonna have a few good years. left.
Raise your stock, fam. Get out of here.
Yeah, Dejounte Murray. I've always been saying like, yo, he's one of the best. Like I feel like young point guards like in this league, and I feel like we're gonna see his best. Like he's gonna continue to like have a better year. I feel
Right.
like into like year 10 plus. Like
He's gonna be a solid guard for a long time.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Long time, and then you like. I agree.
Like I think he's gonna have like an Andre Miller-ish type career where he's just around, always making winning plays for a really
Yeah.
long time.
for sure. I agree with Leak, man. I looked at the roster too. I'm like, they don't have to suck.
they don't have to
They
be
don't
bad.
have to. Like,
I mean, you got Greg Popovich as a coach, and you got young talent. Like
this could
figure
work,
it
man.
out.
This could
Figure it
work.
out.
So
But looking at this,
But I'm just saying, I think Houston could literally, like, they could scare. Like I said, they matched up with Utah. Like as great as Utah is playing,
no way,
as great as Utah
no
is
way,
playing,
no way.
as great as Utah is playing, do
They
you
get-
really buy them being the number 1 seed going in?
I'm
I'll
not
say
saying they'd
this.
be the one.
I'll say this. I agree with Brian to for this reason only. For this reason only. If D Mitch goes cold,
They do what to them?
And Houston,
Win
D-Mitch
one
goes
game,
cold. And Houston has
2
been one of the
games.
best
They
defensive
could
teams
win it.
in the league.
they could win that series if D Mitch goes cold.
They've been one of the best defensive
Fair.
teams in the
Heck
league.
no.
No, that's fair. I just don't think D Mitch gonna go
There's
cold.
no way in the world.
And that's fair.
That's,
If
that's
if
what I'm betting against.
And
I
I can't
respect that
argue
statement.
against that.
If D Mitch goes cold, yes, he's not gonna go cold.
I don't know, man, because I was watching some videos and stuff like that from other people talking. It was like Donovan Mitchell's that friend, like Brian was saying, he's a fringe star. Like he's a star,
He's not a superstar.
not a superstar, could be, but it's all required on consistency at this point because he gets to the playoffs and you could see like in certain moments his game kind of wanes in the big moments. So he'll miss 3-4 shots here. It was a long drawn out video. When I get the details and like who did it and all that,
Man, I think it's balanced,
And
especially
so-
for a young guy who had to go against the playoffs matches he had to go up against.
Yeah.
So
I
early.
agree.
Even
I
in the
agree to that
last year
extent.
bubble, like
That
I
was
watched
third
that game
playoff, I
7, and my
believe.
man's like
he was going back and
he-
forth. Like,
it's like
he was hooping.
it was like a switch. They were down by like 18 or something. And it was like a switch, and all of a sudden we have a 1 possession game, and it was like 9 straight from Donovan at one point.
I agree. I look at it in this way though. I look at it in terms of all right. Houston got as weird as Houston is. They got bodies over there that we could look at and say they're playoff bodies.
You're saying what? Houston?
Houston, they're playoff bodies. John Wall's a playoff body.
Hurt. They're all coming off of
Oladipo's
catastrophic
a
lower body
playoff
injury.
body.
And they're playing well.
They're
like
playoff
they're
bodies.
playing well.
So
Like
it goes back to what you said earlier. If they're healthy and they get there, maybe.
Like I said,
and these are
if-
all guys who have
If
chip.
Donovan Mitchell doesn't play well, sure, but I'm putting my money on D Mitch.
And all I'm saying, like, this is a group. Like, you can see this Houston group is really taking on this identity of we are a bunch of guys who have chips on our shoulders.
I'm looking at their wins, which is true, very commendable, right? I'm looking at the teams they've beaten: Memphis, the Thunder, New Orleans, Portland, the Wizards, Dallas, Detroit, the Spurs, Magic, Kings. They haven't and like I said, if
they beat the teams they're supposed to. Like,
No.
isn't that what you're supposed to do?
No, even some of their L's, like they've lost to the Thunder as well. They've lost to Chicago. They've lost to Indiana with guys being hurt right now. They've lost to Dallas as well. Like I'm just saying, I don't.
Are we not gonna act like they have it? Like you just said, like they have guys missing games. Like Houston has not been fully healthy yet.
I'm just saying, I'm looking at it straight up. All right, I guess I'm just gonna come out and say, what do y'all in John Wall in the playoffs? Like, y'all have not seen it, but I have.
Get to the real crux
Yes,
of it. Get to the real crux
I'm not a
of it.
believer in any of those dudes.
I don't blame you.
None of them?
None. And mind you,
Oladipo, no.
because of their injuries. These are their backcourt are two guys that their base of their game was their athleticism.
I agree. And once again, like I said,
Both
we talked
gone
about
now in the
we
harder
talked about it in the
conference.
first. I agree. We talked about it in the first game. I said John Wall ain't the same because he tried to beat somebody off the dribble and instead just went try to run through him. He ain't gonna be able to do it in the playoffs. I agree with
That
that
was his
sentiment.
bread and butter in the playoffs in the East. You know what I'm saying? So
I
like,
agree with that. The tweak is, and of course, if James Harden is there, it looks completely different. And if he wanted to be there, of course, it looks completely different. But the tweak is John Wall, if he can focus on being a play initiator and picking his spots and not trying to be the hero as what you've always alluded to in his time in Washington, and allow Vic, who still has that step. Like,
no, it's
Vic,
not even.
It's not the
even
same.
18, it's not
but
18 Vic. It's not 18 Vic.
it's still a good step though. It's not like he can beat guys. He still can beat guys. If you allow Vic to be that guy, and then you have a guy like Christian Wood who's ascending, then all John Wall has to do is pick his spots. He doesn't have to necessarily go out and try and be a hero. The question is the question is not about the athleticism for you. Your question is John Wall going to be diligent enough and disciplined enough to pick his spots?
It's going to be.
That's a better question,
Yeah.
and that's what has me worried. I can rock with that question before I rock with the other one.
No, it's that with John. It's with, like I said, now it's going to be like, Vic, okay, part of what made you elite, like, not only could you give a team 20 to 25, like that 1 year, like I said, in Indiana where he took Bron to game 7, like, you would also defend dudes as well. Like, are you healthy enough now to defend a Jamal Murray, a Kawhi Leonard, like, in the a Damian Lillard, like, in the playoffs, if need be? Because if my starting one or two are coming, like I said, they're coming off of significant lower body injuries. So are we now trusting those? Y'all talking about all this that Wiggs got to do so that way Clay can take a step back. Houston don't got that.
We'll see.
Fair.
Like I said, I'm of the firm mindset of like after watching John, watching Vic this year, I'm like, even DeMarcus, I'm like, yo, they look physically okay. Do they look like what they were? No, but they look like smart, capable NBA ball players.
Fair. I'm just not buying stock in them.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Any stock that you're selling.
Like I said, y'all acting like I said they were going to win chip. All I said was they're going to be a playoff
I
team.
still think if Houston.
That's all I'm saying.
It's
They're just going to be a playoff team. That's all I've said.
Whatever the green bet is, I'm taking a red.
I still think if Houston is smart, they probably get off of Vic.
They
'Cause
already talking about they might try.
He's not gonna want to stay. He's not gonna re-sign in Houston.
We'll see.
He's not.
I don't think so.
He wants to go to Miami. So we're gonna see.
I think his mind is made up too.
If it's not made up to go Miami, that's going to be very interesting.
It's the Tom Crean connect. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Butler
Yeah,
was talking to
absolutely.
Vic about playing with Tom Crean.
So
and they
now
probably,
Miami's going to hook their wagon up to two guys who are kind of declining. But okay.
Hey, I was saying they should have went and got Brad.
I don't know what Pat gonna do, but Pat gonna do something.
Pat always got something up his sleeve.
Free Redville.
We really got off the rookie.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the conversation for me was should some of these young guys start, and so I really didn't have much else after that. Tyrese Halliburton, shout out to him. Shout out to LaMelo. Shout out to Anthony Edwards, who's hooping. We talked about James Wiseman a little bit before we got into the rookie conversation because he's been in and out of the starting lineup for coaching reasons, not anything else.
I mean, like I said, shout out to Patrick Williams hooping in Chicago. Desmond Baines playing well for Memphis. Like I said, Jay Sean Tate, once again, another guy in Houston who's playing really well as a rookie. Peyton Pritchard's playing well for Boston. Like this rookie class, like a lot of people downed it, myself included. I think one thing that definitely helped this class out a lot was as much as like nobody wanted that COVID break allowed these guys to really get in the lab and prepare for this season. Yeah. And I think you're kind of seeing that. Like these guys came in way more prepared than what they would have been if it had been a regular NBA offseason.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I think they're taking advantage of that. They've come in, they've shown that they're ready for it. And like I said, kudos to him. Like, there's been a solid rookie class so far.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know which. We talked about it when we did the draft episode. Not many guys that we could look at and say these are superstars. I think it's only maybe two possible. 3. I'll say 2.
I got 2.
Wiseman, Melo. But this draft is definitely role player depth heavy. Like,
And that's what they were saying looking
these
back on the
guys
draft. They said this
these
was gonna
guys gonna hang around. I can't remember which draft was like that in the past. I'm drawing a blank. I was thinking about it.
There's been recent drafts where they've been great with role players. Like, I know,
it was just heavy. Like, these guys don't retire. They always got a job.
Just always find a way.
They're always on the team. They're
Nah,
always playing. Like,
honestly,
this looks like one of those for me.
Success improved players.
Yeah.
looking at this draft, like, of course, Anthony, LaMelo, Quickly, Wiseman, Halliburton, Cole, Patrick Williams, Desmond Bain, Tyrese Maxey, Jay Sean Tate in Houston, Xavier Tillman, he's with Memphis. He's gonna be Isaac Okoro is gonna be around. Peyton Pritchard is gonna be around. Sadiq Bey with Detroit's gonna be around. OKC, they're not. I'll say this. Shout out to, I don't even know, like, the new guy that they got to be at their coach, but like,
Oh man, I'm drawing a blank.
yeah, because it's a complete like dude that like
I know them. I just don't know how to pronounce it.
and I just didn't want to be disrespectful, but like, shout out to him because like they're not trash bad like what we all thought they were gonna be.
I asked y'all, could Shea play good basketball in the situation where we're gonna look at him and he's gonna be picked on because of he's the only real
hooping.
offensive threat?
He's hooping.
And he's hooping. That's all I was asking. I wasn't asking much. I wasn't trying to say he's gonna be an MVP. But my man's going right now.
Another dude I think is gonna be good. He's with the Spurs, Devin Vassell.
Yes.
I think he's gonna be really,
The
really
Spurs always do that.
I mean, just draft properly.
They all but
Wait, was that guard AD?
Yeah, it's 2 guard AD.
Guard AD.
Yeah.
like they always do that. They always find like it was Jonathan Simmons at one point.
Yeah.
They didn't draft him.
They signed him.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
G League.
He was unsigned.
Out of G League, yeah.
He's
But
a
yeah.
G League guy. Like
They
they
found
always get a guy like where did he come from?
Part of it is also the system because Jonathan Simmons left and we never heard from him again.
True fact.
But I
True
think it's
fact.
just
True
more
fact.
so of like, mind you,
got
he
that
He
bag
got
at
his
the
bag at
Magic.
Magic.
He went to
Okay, got
Orlando.
his
He
bag.
went to Orlando, so it's like, yeah, we haven't heard from anybody in Orlando.
Free Aaron Gordon, man. I'll say that too, man.
Vucevic
Orlando
first.
needs to blow it up as well.
We were just talking about bigs earlier. Put Vucevic in the West. Like, we're talking about him a lot differently. In all honesty.
Put him on just a decent team, and we're talking about him a whole lot differently.
So I mean, like,
Orlando needs to blow it up.
another young rookie down here at the bottom, Jaden McDaniels. Like,
Yeah.
He's looked way better than I thought he would.
yeah.
Like, I must admit, he looks. I mean, I kind of knew his game was more NBA than college.
Yeah.
But just seeing like he's able to handle the physicality is what kind of impresses me more because I thought his body just wasn't gonna hold
No,
up.
he definitely.
yet.
I mean, he's definitely a skinny dude. But shout out, I actually know his trainer. Shout out Cartier. Shout out Hot Bread. But no, I mean he's made a great transition, and I mean like Minnesota, they have a lot of pieces where they'll be able to figure out like in the future what is it that they want to do.
They're gonna mess it up.
Yeah.
They probably will.
No, that's not bad.
If y'all
That's not
have
bad.
the way you feel about Cleveland is the way I feel about the Minnesota franchise. Okay,
Which is fair.
like I
Both of
have
those
no
organizations
faith
suck.
after watching them literally destroy Kevin Garnett's career. I have no faith in them.
And none of these dudes that they got now are better than KG.
Exactly.
None of them. Not from
Kevin Garnett should have had a career similar to Tim Duncan. Should have. But he didn't because he was stuck in Minnesota. The first time you gave him help, guess what you got? Championship, finals.
And I was at the end.
Exactly.
All I'm saying is
Upsets me.
all
Take him out the books.
All I'm saying is I'm looking at it in terms of I'm with Leak in the fact that they do have pieces. Like you got Karl Anthony Towns, you got Russell, you got Anthony Edwards, you got
Do you
all
trust
these.
that organization?
You can have all the pieces you want. If
Do you just
can't
trust
nobody
that
put the puzzle
organization?
together, Greg, it don't matter.
Yeah, that's all that really matters. At the end of the day, we could talk about what you got. Like, you can give somebody, you've played spades, you can give somebody a hand that you got 9 books in. If they don't know how to play spades, do you think they're going to get 9 books?
No.
At one point in time, the Wizards had Rip Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace, and Ben Wallace before they all went to Detroit.
That's true.
Wow.
And it's not like the Wizards were making the playoffs when they had them.
The Wizards ain't going to make that 9 books.
And neither will the Wolves.
You can give somebody a perfect hand.
Oh man. Okay, I'll let her. I mean, I ain't gonna argue it. I ain't got nothing.
There's nothing to argue.
I ain't got nothing. Yeah, I ain't got nothing to like stand
Nah,
on.
big up the cards you have, but if you're not a good player, I don't care about the cards you have.
It's just gonna be sad because I want all those young pieces to like get out of there and like help up another team, or just move Minnesota to Seattle. But that's not gonna happen, unfortunately.
Who's stuck?
Everybody in Minnesota, every single last one of them, everybody on the roster.
Everybody in the roster stuck.
I think
Carl Anthony Towns stuck.
If you're
I think
signed
Carl
to
and
the Minnesota
D'Lo are
Twins.
like kind of married to each other now. Like,
Yeah.
Cat really wanted D'Lo there, and especially because since this year, Cat's not playing for a variety of reasons. Cat, take
Even
care
going
of
through it,
yourself,
man.
take
Prayers
care of
for you,
yourself.
man.
Prayers to you. Like, get yourself together. Like I said, no pressure to play at all.
They've only played like 5 games together. Though.
exactly. So
Since he got there last year.
Yeah.
Exactly. So since they haven't gotten time together, I feel like they're gonna at least give it another year or two before they really like give up on the idea, even though they should. But that's a whole different discussion. But like,
They're just waiting until D-Book over in Phoenix is like, all right, hey, bro, like, this ain't it. But, like, as right now, Phoenix is on the up and up.
Phoenix looking good.
they got a good team.
They're on the up and up, or is it just Chris Paul?
They're on
I
the
mean,
up
that
and
makes
up
them on the
because
up and
of
up,
Chris
yeah.
Paul.
How long is Chris Paul gonna be there?
Who knows? But they're
As soon as Chris Paul gone, they're on the down and
Then-
down.
then
That's,
yeah.
that's where I stand
You
with
know-
it.
I mean, you hope at that point he's
That's where I
taught.
stand
You
with
hope
it.
at that point he's taught you how to win enough that you
Yeah.
can carry on.
Yeah,
That's
there's-
the idea.
There should be some other guard that, like, should be ready to take, like,
Like, if
the
Point
Phoenix
reins.
doesn't
God.
make a
That's
move-
all I'm saying.
if Phoenix
Point
doesn't make
God.
a move when Chris Paul is going out, then that's just
That's
just irresponsible.
Could Phoenix be?
I don't think Phoenix is
Phoenix
a horrible organization. I
Phoenix
think the
has been known
Timberwolves
to
are.
be irresponsible too.
All
Hey,
of these franchises,
but
but not to that degree.
They have new management. They got James Jones, who's a former player. Everybody's cool with him.
I'm not gonna hate on James. Jones.
Monty Williams is CP3's man from back in New Orleans when he was a young boy. So, like, I'm actually thinking about it. Could this be where CP3
turnaround.
calls it quits? Because who else is going to trade for that contract? If he wants to leave again, who else is going to take on the last?
This is not the end.
Well, he could resign for a
What
smaller
I've
contract, the
seen-
way
He'll
he's been playing.
resign, but
He's
is
getting
it-
the Jason Kidd kind of ring. I've came to that conclusion.
And I saw you make that tweet, which I really did like.
He's getting the Jason Kidd kind of ring. Like,
just hope
so
it's-
this is not the end.
I hope it's not with LeBron though.
I hope not too, but it probably will be. Yeah, like I hope not.
Where
too.
else would it be?
Like,
Where else would it be?
LeBron really
I, ain't
handing
gonna lie,
out.
I would love to see Chris Paul just go back up Steph, just for the memes.
Go back up. I don't think he would.
That will.
I don't think
Heck
he
no.
would.
Have you heard
but
the Draymond Green interview with All the Smoke?
What?
I pieces of it. What
It was
part are you
it was a
referring to?
part in there where Draymond was explaining how Chris Paul really doesn't like Steph, and
Oh, no, he
peeped
doesn't.
it.
He doesn't.
It would never happen.
I know it wouldn't.
Oh,
I'm
so
just-
what was he
I
saying?
said I would like it.
What was he
Okay,
saying as
that's
to
what I
why?
said.
What was he saying as to why?
He was saying like he said that I want to. My bad, Draymond, if I twist your words up a little bit, but he was pretty much saying that Chris Paul could see like the writing on the wall with Steph a little bit, so he kept him like at arm's distance. So he really didn't like let him in. Really didn't like embrace him.
Didn't mentor him.
Yeah, didn't really embrace him. But Steph being like that ultimate nice guy, he was like real cool, real chill about it. But Draymond could see kind of like the two-faced side of CP. So he was like, I never really trusted Chris.
I feel like a lot of
around
superstars
Steph.
did that with Steph, though.
So he was like, he said he never liked Chris. They don't have a good relationship now because of the way he saw him treat Steph.
No, I feel like a lot of dudes in the league probably feel that way about Steph because for one, like everybody views Steph. I feel like within the league, there's probably a certain way you look at dudes like, oh, your daddy was in the league, for one. So like I feel like dudes view them in a certain manner, and then like you said, like
How
because
long can you view somebody like that?
Well,
It only take what?
it's more so
50
just it's
games
more
for
so
me to
just like-
understand like, oh, he's legit, he's real.
So I've always said the thing with Steph that makes
This ain't like your dad's the coach.
so the thing that makes Steph different from virtually all the guys that you want to put ahead of him, Chris Paul, LeBron, those guys who are the upper echelon that he had to break into, even Kevin Durant, they were all known as that before they ever got to the league. Like Steph Curry had to earn his seat at the table. LeBron came in. I'm the chosen one. Kevin Durant came in. I'm Kevin Durant. I'm best player and best scorer of the generation.
Chris Paul was like he was a
Number one
McDonald's
player.
All-American, Jordan All-American. Like
Right.
he was that dude coming out of Wake Forest.
Like they all got their seat at the table early. Even Kobe when he came into the granted he didn't start, but it was like, oh no, you're the heir apparent. We see it, we know it. Like Steph wasn't recruited out of high school. Nobody knew who he was for real. Goes to Davidson. He has that amazing Davidson run. But kind of just like when they had that amazing championship run, it was always, well, he probably can't do it again. He's not strong enough. He's not quick enough. He's not this. He's not that. He's not a point guard. Like, and then he gets to the league, and the beginning of his career was not that bad. It was literally just injury prone. Yeah. But he didn't become an all-star until his 5th year in the league?
Yeah.
And then it was like, it went from being, okay, he's an all-star. Well, now he's second team NBA. Now he's the MVP. Like, it happened that quick. Like it was 3 years. All-star, second team NBA, MVP. And then it was unanimous MVP. And then that's what I'm saying. Chris Paul looked around and was like, hold up, I was the point guard.
Yeah.
Now you on the floor on a mean. Like, that's essentially what happened. LeBron James was the same thing. Like, LeBron went from being, and granted, he maintained his place because he beat Steph, but like, it went from like LeBron James was the unquestioned face of the NBA, and for like a year and some change, it was like, is Steph Curry the face of the NBA?
And if they don't lose in 16, like
Steph Curry's the face of the NBA. Like I said, like LeBron maintained his spot, but if he didn't win that, this is a whole different NBA.
Nah, yeah, and I mean it's because, and Steph also did it in a manner where it's just like, it wasn't. It's not even like it's Kyrie where I'm gonna just come down and I'm gonna ISO you every single time and like just my elite handle is gonna like drop you every single time. It's shooting threes and turning around before the ball goes in the basket. That's gonna blow dudes. Feet. That's going to blow guys.
You can't do nothing about it.
I mean, I get it. I don't like I said. The idea of Chris Paul playing behind Steph Curry is impossible.
I said that was just that's
impossible.
Just what I would like, but it's not gonna happen.
But Chris Paul is definitely leaving this league with a ring.
I would love,
He gonna try.
I would love a Golden State. I would love a Golden State Phoenix matchup in the playoffs. I don't know how. Honestly, seeding wise, that's probably not going to work out.
It might have to fall in that 7-10 type.
It would have to be. It would have to be. And I mean, right now though, the reason why I don't think that's going to happen, Phoenix is a 4 right now.
Well, they're all separated by like half a game.
Yeah.
Like literally, the top 3 have separated themselves. Utah, LA, Clippers have all separated themselves, and then everybody else is literally bunched up in like a game and a half.
Yeah.
So literally tomorrow, this could all look totally different. And then the day after that, it'll look totally like this is gonna literally go down to the wire. It's really gonna come down to, like we've said from jump, it's gonna be a matter of health. Mm-hmm. Who's gonna get hit hardest by COVID injuries and things of that nature, or COVID what's the word?
Contact tracing.
COVID contact tracing, all these things. Who gets hit hardest by that, and who's the healthiest by the end of the season, and can maintain these momentum. So there's a number of ways Phoenix and Golden State can match up in the playoffs. I would totally have Phoenix in that matchup, but it'd be fun to watch.
It would be.
Because Golden State sucks.
It's all Steph.
They're getting better. Golden State's getting better. I will say that.
Oh, they're getting better, but Steph Curry, like...
It's all Steph right now.
Steph Curry's amazing.
This is what I wanted to see.
Yeah, this is what you wanted to see, right?
This
is what you wanted, right?
I didn't think we needed to,
We did it. But people wanted it, and they got it.
I wanted to see him. I wanted to see him do things like yesterday. 57-5.
He just want to win, man.
Yo, Steve Kerr, man.
It's not looking too good, huh?
So shouldn't the Warriors go get Brad Beal now, like I was telling you at the beginning of the year? Still?
No, I still wouldn't. I just think the asking price would just be too high. It's just...
I think it's a tad
who should they get?
And I don't think it would make you a title contender this year either.
Who should they get? Because I still keep telling
they got to hit the buyout market. Like, that's going to be their thing. Because they have the trade exception.
Right.
Or not the trade, the disabled player exception. And then they still have their mid-level. Mm-hmm. So I think they're going to hit the buyout marker. Honestly, I think it's going to depend on like how they look at the mid-season point.
Yeah.
Like, the ownership is not going to spend a ton of money because they're already way over the tax.
Yeah.
So if they feel like, yo, we aren't going to make the playoffs, like, why would they spend the extra bread? But if they think they have a chance at making a slight run, like, I could see them, like, going on the buyout market and trying to get, like, depending on this all comes down, who gets bought out. But, like, I would love to see Al Horford get bought out and come to Golden State.
You've talked about that.
Or J.J. Redick or P.J. Tucker. Like, that's
PJ
what they
Tucker,
need right
I want
now.
somebody in the right spot. I was saying PJ Tucker to Boston because I would love to see PJ guard and James Harden in a playoff game.
That'd be tough. Yeah, he would definitely.
He would definitely
mess him.
Yeah,
he's gonna hit him at least twice
for sure.
So
all them threes you shot, and you just gonna leave me?
Not just leave. You quit. You quit on us.
Facts. And if anybody was doing a job,
love for PJ, I think.
If anybody was doing a job they didn't want to do, it was PJ.
For you, fam. For you.
I came here.
I was guarding 7-footers for you.
And I was a small forward.
All right, man. Last topic. All-Star game. It's gonna be a mess. All right, it's gonna be a mess because they're holding in Atlanta, guys. The one place that hasn't closed at all year.
It makes sense.
Um,
They held the bubble in Florida.
so
But at least it was a bubble.
it was a bubble. Yeah, they gonna be outside
They
this.
was like, if you've been to Disney World, you know like Disney World is like its own
it's on
separate
its
part
own
of
world.
Florida. So it made a little bit of sense.
This is in the heart of Atlanta, man. All the clubs gonna be open.
That's how you got to beat COVID nowadays.
Just embrace it.
Just attack it.
Is that what it seems like?
ISO it out.
This is stupid.
And that's what some guys are saying. De'Aaron Fox was one of the people who was saying, he said, I do not agree with this. This does not make sense to me. De'Aaron Fox is not an all-star this season. So some people were saying that, or I guess not being considered as an all-star this season. So people are not taking his words seriously because for whatever reason. But like I've said before about Kyrie, he is entitled to, he's a player. He's entitled to his opinion. What do y'all think? Is this irresponsible of the league?
I mean, I think in general everybody should agree that it's irresponsible. You have guys like Bron, KD, Giannis, all of them saying it's stupid. If all of the top stars don't even want to be there, and these are guys who are perennial all-stars, it would just make sense not to. It would make sense not to have it regardless. Because what are you gonna do? Have like 10% of fans in attendance or something like that? Because it doesn't make sense to have an all-star game, period, if fans aren't there. And then it doesn't make sense to have fans, especially in Atlanta, just flocking about the stadium during that time. I think they should cast their ballots, make some honorary jerseys or something. But should an all-star game be played? No. I think most of these guys will actually rather just have the break and chill with their families or whatever.
Yeah. Bron even said like he was looking forward to a 5-day break off and in the middle of March. But Kawhi even said in one of his interviews, he's just like, I mean, this is about money right now. There's money on the line. TNT has, they've had the All-Star game for years, so there's bread that goes into that. So I mean, that's just pretty much all it is. But is this safe? No. And I've seen some tweets. What I'm hoping is just the season doesn't literally end with the All-Star break, because now at that point it's going to be like, all right, what are y'all really telling us from a contract or a contact tracing standpoint if we bring the best dudes in the league into one of the main cities with high numbers in COVID, have them there for a couple of days competing, then you let them go back to all of their respective markets, but then just none of their other teammates, like there's going to be nothing else that pops up, correct?
Right.
You're going to tell me that.
Well, the funny part is the fact that the NBA is going to go through with this is ridiculous in itself. But I'm actually, the players that are going to the All-Star game, I'm kind of like, they're probably the safest of all the players because they're going to get tested literally every 5 hours, probably. Yeah. It's the players that are leaving to go on vacation. They're like, yeah, like now you're just adding in more and more elements where it's like something could go wrong. And all it takes is one thing to go wrong, and then it's all downhill from there. I think the biggest thing, especially like LeBron James spoke on, he was like we agreed there was going to be no All-Star game. Like the Players Union, the NBA agreed we weren't going to have an All-Star game. Like he said it, like, yo, we just got done playing. We turned it around because y'all told us we needed to save money. Cool, whatever. We turned it around. We came back in 70-something days, went back at it again. But y'all told us we was going to get this break. Like at least this break. Like, people need to, and I know some people don't understand, like, what happens at All-Star Weekend. Like, it's not just the game.
Yeah.
Like, the responsibilities they have at All-Star Weekend is ridiculous. Like, that's not a break for LeBron James. That's not a break for Anthony Davis and Giannis and KD.
Interviews, conferences.
It's actually more nerve-wracking than
press.
Probably the regular season.
Yeah.
But, and granted, the excitement of it is probably great. Like I said, the spectacle, like I said, playing against the best players in the world, you're hanging around. Like I
With
said,
your homies,
but in a year like this, where it's like, it's not going to be the same. It's
Right.
not going to be fans. It's not going to be as exciting. Like, why are we here? Like, I get it. Money, like I said, I understand a lot of it goes to charity. If it's that serious, write the check.
Write the check.
Like, just write. And granted, if you ain't got the money, don't write the check. Like, it is what it is. But come on, man. Like, this is just ridiculous. We really about to put Lemon Pepper Lou and all these guys in the same city? Because it ain't, once again, All-Star Weekend ain't just the All-Stars. Everybody goes.
Right.
If you're a player who ain't got a family trying to take a vacation, you're normally at All-Star Weekend. A lot of them bring their families to All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure as soon as it was announced, hotel prices just went up.
Facts.
It went up. Because whether you live there or not, whether you are a player or not, you're like, oh, I'm being in Atlanta with the NBA players. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there because
They make money.
I'm gonna
doing
throw
this.
a party, you know. And
That's where they make their money.
I'm gonna throw a party. I'm gonna bring some people through.
And people gonna pull up.
Exactly.
And it's ATL, and they don't care about COVID,
They do not.
so they gonna pull up.
So I think it's really, really irresponsible. I think the league took a step back. I think the league took a step back in terms of my view of them in this situation.
This might be the first time I look at Adam Silver and I'm like, you made a
you
mistake.
missed
You
it.
made a
You missed
really,
it.
you missed this one.
You missed this
Nah,
one.
A good swing.
And I think I hate doing that because I am a huge fan of his, but him and Chris Paul, because Chris Paul also was a guy who was like, yeah, we're going to do this. And so the fact that that's the case just kind of makes it tough to look at. It makes other leagues who didn't go through with this, like the NFL. The NFL decided to run their All-Star game through Madden. Like, that's trash, but
Safe.
I mean,
Their Pro Bowl sucked anyway.
I agree, but I mean,
And that also makes this a little bit worse after the great All-Star game we got last year. Like,
Yeah.
we already know it's not going to be like that this year.
yeah,
There's not going to be the same energy. It's just not going to be as competitive. It's going to be bad.
last year was one like for the books. Like that was probably one of the more, competitive games
Absolutely.
we've seen in, I'd say, at least 15 years, possibly. Like that was up there.
It's a good one.
So the fact that they're gonna come in here, they're trying to have a 3-point contest, they're trying to have a dunk contest, skills challenge too. Like, so that means you got more participants, more people that you got to deal with outside just the 15 on each side.
Yeah.
With 20, 15 or 12.
It might be 12. I don't know. I got to look.
But 20, 25, 26 players you got to deal with. Like I think that's unfair. I agree with LeBron. We want this break. I want that break for them because I want them at their best come time for the playoffs. I told you I'm only holiday. So,
Your 2-month long holiday.
2-month long holiday, man. Over my birthday. Any day of the week. so, I mean, that's just where I stand with it. And, yeah. Who's in, who's out, though? If we're looking at the bottom, who should be in?
You talking about the All-Star game?
All-Star game. Brad Beal, Zach LaVine.
Zach
Should be
LaVine's
in.
out.
Brad should be in.
Zach LaVine's out.
Zach LaVine's out.
Unfortunately.
It's hard. It's called All-Star for a reason. Everybody shouldn't be able to get in.
Zach LaVine's another guy that needs to get traded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see just Chicago really wanting to build through him. So
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it. I don't know. It goes. I think I've said it a couple times too. In terms of timelines, I just think his timeline doesn't fall with the rest of the guys there at this point. So it's like,
We have to accept that.
so let's just let him leave. He's way ahead of it. Let him go compete.
Man, Donovan Mitchell is going to be a very interesting case. He should make it, but he's going to come down to the wire. In the West or in the East, like I said, we already said Zach LaVine. I don't know. It's going to be.
How bad would it
Gordon
look?
Hayward's probably going to miss it, even though he's been playing amazing.
Yeah. How bad is it gonna look if Brad Beal don't make it?
I think he's gonna make it. I think
It's only because of the backlash from last year.
I think he's nearly guaranteed to make it.
Okay.
Like, there's no way he does, unless like Washington completely craters, even though they did get blown out today by the Hornets. Like, unless they completely crater, like I just don't see how he doesn't make it, averaging 33 a game. Russell Westbrook's not making it.
Oh no.
Nah, yeah, he's not.
We didn't have to do that.
I know, but it was all for you.
We didn't have to do that.
It was just for you. But,
Shout out to you, Russ.
Is Colin Sexton gonna make it?
I was thinking that earlier.
Colin Sexton. All right. Let me think about this. We got Kyrie, James,
Brad,
KD,
Straight Young.
Trey's gonna make it.
Trey,
Giannis,
Giannis,
Jaylen Brown, and Tatum.
Middleton.
He's gonna be right there on the border. He's right there. How many is that?
A lot.
Yeah, I think we named like 10.
So we got the three. We got the 3 Nets players. Giannis, Embiid. That's your probable starting 5.
Right.
Then after that, we got
Jalen and Jason.
Trey, Brad.
Sabonis.
We ain't name a big yet.
Sabonis.
I mean, outside of Embiid.
Sabonis.
All right.
He's another one that's gonna be on the. He's gonna be on the border though.
That's tough.
What about Julius Randle?
Ooh,
That's a nice little name right there.
it is. Is he gonna get it though?
No.
They ain't gonna vote for him.
I'll mention him.
They're not gonna vote for him.
So yeah. So like I said, Sabonis. Like I said, Middleton maybe, Sexton. Like I said, now you're looking at your Gordon Haywards, your Colin Sextons. Like that's where that list is. Zach LaVine. That's a tight race at the bottom of the East.
Is the West already made out?
I
think the West probably made out.
Steph,
Curry,
Luka,
Dame, Luka.
LeBron,
AD.
and Jokic. And then, like I said, you got Dame.
D-Book.
D-
D-Book.
They're 4th in the West.
Book need to be
D-Book
in-
better. If Brad Bill's getting in, D-Book better get it.
Did CJ get in?
No.
He's not
hurt
hurt.
enough.
He's not gonna play.
He's too. Yeah, he's
How
been
long has
hurt
he been hurt for?
a minute. And he's
Yeah.
not coming back anytime soon,
Good
from
Lord.
my
They're
understanding.
not even gonna consider him for real.
So
D-Book got to get in.
yeah, I guess. Who else? Ja.
Nah.
There's a push for him, but I don't know.
Nah. You gotta wait his turn.
Does he? His team ain't far out the playoff race either.
You say,
And he's been doing it without his second best player.
Who were the last?
oh, Kawhi, PG.
Yeah,
Kawhi
'cause
and PG,
those
we
two
forgot
need to
those.
be in.
Okay,
My
I
bad,
forgot.
my
So
bad.
we forgot Kawhi and PG. So that's 7. Dame 8. So that's probably your 8
Locked.
guaranteed
They
locks.
locked.
And you
Nothing
also
around.
Jokic already.
We already said
He's a
Jokic.
yoke.
So that's your
So-
8 guaranteed locks. So you got 4 spots left.
Brown and AD, of course.
Yeah, we already said. So Bron, AD, Jokic, Steph, Luka, Dame, Kawhi, PG. It's your 8 locks.
Does Rudy cry himself into one?
Yeah.
So, but like that's my thing. So like that's why I said Utah is going to be very interesting because the numbers say Rudy's the most impactful player. Donovan isn't having a great year by any stretch. So are they going to put both of them in because they have the number 1 seed if they keep it?
Donovan.
I mean, you can say it, but like I said, the numbers say Mike Conley's been more impactful than Donovan this year. I'm just like, this is all things that go into it.
I don't care about the numbers.
You can say that, but it is what it is. And Donovan hasn't been great this year by any stretch.
What do you mean by he hasn't been great? Because I mean, averaging 23, mind you, he's just been since he came rookie year, dub. Then it was 23, 24, 23. So I'm trying to figure
Like,
out
that's my thing. Like, for what you expect him to do, like, especially when we all expect him to take another jump after the bubble, it's almost like Jamal Murray. Granted, he hasn't taken a step back, but it's kind of just like he's the same regular guy.
It's not, and that's the thing. I think we're getting too accustomed to some of these guys being really good so early because he's shooting the best he's ever shot from 3 while also shooting the most amount of 3s per game. So it's like, I think we saw him rookie year knock out 3 Hall of Famers. And I think because, like, there's no championship now, we're assuming, like, okay, have you gotten better? But it's just like, no, I've still been this quality of dude since I've been in.
I agree with what you're saying. Maybe not the no championship, but not seeing that, I guess, drastic rocket of improvement. Like, oh, now he should be averaging 28 or 20.
Like last year, he
So-
barely made the All-Star game, and he's pretty much putting up the same number. Like, that's my point. Like, that's all I'm saying. He's not like a lock. That's all I'm saying. I can say, if you want to make the argument he's in, cool, I'm with it. I'm just asking, like,
Carmelo's getting votes.
shut up.
That's fan stuff.
Shut up. Like, once again, if you want to make the argument Donovan's in, cool. I'm not going to argue against you. I'm just simply saying, like, people are saying, like, Rudy's definitely getting in because he's a big. And once again, he's probably been just as impactful defensively as Donovan has been offensively. It's just, like I said, I think it's going to be interesting to see if Utah gets 2 players. If people are forced to choose between the 2, I don't know which way it'll fall, is all I'm saying. They both have a case.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And you're saying they're both fighting for the same spot.
Unless they hold on to that number 1 seed. If they hold on to the number 1 seed, I think both of them will get in. But if they don't hold on to that number 1 seed, I think it becomes iffy for both of them.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll definitely see. I don't know who fills out that West. Chris Paul might get in on the string.
You said Steph, right?
Yeah, we said Steph.
Steph's getting voted in. You ain't going nowhere.
Chris Paul might get that spot on this
I
round.
don't think so.
Just because he Chris Paul.
We'll see.
All right.
We'll revisit this in another week.
Sure will. Sure will.
So much will change.
Let's get out of here, man. We got a Super Bowl to watch.
Ooh, right on time.
Right on time, man.
Big facts.
Any shout outs?
Shout out to my boys, Matoka JB.
Yeah, we ain't do the update like we should have. The boys went 5-3, man.
Went
They
5-3. Solid season.
We lost one game where we were both there.
Yeah.
As a staff.
Yeah.
Only one.
What
Yeah,
game
we
did
only,
lose?
the one that we lost was that I was there that we lost was Thomas Dale.
You're right. Oh, our
Yeah,
best player got moved up to varsity by then.
Yeah, by then, too.
I'll accept that
And
one.
I'll take the 2 games that you lost with me not being there. I have work, so like I couldn't get to Petersburg for a 5:30 tip when I was.
No, I get it. It's almost impossible.
It was real.
Yeah, literally.
Trying to drive that way at 4:45 is
That's a tough drive.
not
Yeah.
real.
And I was like, B. Yeah, I was like, B. Even if we weren't in COVID, I would still have a 9 to 5, and that's not gonna allow me to get to Petersburg at 5:30. But like,
That's real.
It was a good year all around. Like I said, like me and B, we speak the same language basketball wise. Shout out to the boys if y'all watching this. I know y'all was probably glad the days that I wasn't at practice because my role was to put my foot in their butt. You know what I'm saying? But they took it every bit of the way. Definitely the dudes got better throughout the year. So
Shout out to Matoka JV, man.
Shout out to my boys, good group of kids, man. I'm excited for the offseason. Y'all know what y'all need to work on. Let's get back in the lab.
All right, man. Brian done gave his exit meetings. Gave his exit meetings, told him, hey, look, man, you need to work on this.
Exactly what I told them. This is what you need to do. They know what they need to do. They got my number. If they ready to get in the lab, let's get to work.
Hey, man, this is the best part of the year for some guys, man.
It
This
is.
is the best part of the year. This is what guys have the most fun. Learn something new, working on the game, building off the game, breaking it down. Some guys maybe don't have the best shot or best plays or the best footwork, whatever the case may be. Working on that, that's probably one of the more fun times I had playing high school basketball. But TK shoutouts?
No, I don't have any shout outs.
You sure, man? All right, man. Keith? Leak?
nah.
All right, man. Shout out to y'all. Like I said, man, we cracked 200. I'm real hype about y'all, man. Y'all really make me feel proud, man, that y'all keep going out and telling people about us and get more people to come watch this show. This show here in Southside Richmond. Y'all ain't had to do that. We ain't got no sports team, but y'all like us. So I appreciate y'all, man. That means a lot to me. That means a lot to us as a squad. And we can't wait to get more content out. Like I said, we apologize for the 2-week break, but snow and COVID had an effect on us, just like y'all. And so
Y'all all done use COVID for a reason why you couldn't do something.
probably didn't need to use COVID. You could have just said, nah, you weren't going to make it. But you just used COVID anyway. So we definitely going to bring out some more content and stuff like that. And like I said, thank you. And as always, eat, sleep, breathe the game. We love you. Be safe. We out. That's my dad calling me now. Yeah, I'm coming. Go watch the game.